Welcome to Quantum Quest Conversations. I'm your host, Megan.
And I'm your host, Heidi.
The podcast where curious conversations lead the way into awakening, growth, and infinite discovery. Whether you're just beginning your quest or deep in your awakening, you'll find inspiration through stories, lessons, and personal experience. Settle in, open your heart, and let curiosity lead the way.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast today. We're going to talk about gifting with intention. And, we're just thinking about what the celebrations and the seasons are all about right now. And gifts, obviously, are a big part of it. And let us know if you like the topic. Please comment, subscribe, share.
We are getting in the holiday spirit to talk about gifts today. And for those that are watching on YouTube where you can actually see us, I just want to show you how festive I am in my little Santa Mrs. Claus suit. I love the holidays and I love gifting. And I am very excited for this topic. It's funny because I never pieced it together, but I think because I am very intuitive and a psychic medium, when I really do think about giving a gift to somebody, it really does come from my heart. And I really try to think of how they can benefit from it or if they truly would like it. I get almost like mad at myself if I am rushing and I just have to grab like whatever because I'm thinking like that is so unlike me. Like that's not like me to just, be thoughtless with a gift. But I think gifts should have intention and they should have meaning. And I am a big fan of making gifts, or at least partly making gifts. So this year, I don't want to ruin a surprise for anybody that's going to get it, but I am learning how to make sourdough, and you may or may not be receiving a loaf of bread from me this season. But to me, it's
Okay,
something
I'll send you
that,
my address.
yeah. To me, it's like something I like to do things with my hands. I like to put love into it. And, I got like a cutting board and cute little Christmas like towel to like wrap it in. But I think it's really important to have gifts come from your heart. And so many people, and I get it. I do it all the time too, but like that quick gift card, like it's like, come on, let's put a little effort into this. What about you? What kind of gifts do you give with intention?
Well, first, I want everybody who's listening to just close your eyes for a second and think of your favorite gift that you ever got. What was it? Maybe a doll, maybe a car, maybe it was like a board game, something, right? In my case, I remember out of all the gifts and through my life, I've gotten so many Barbie dolls because I'm a collector still. And so I remember there was this crystal Barbie. And I saw her and her dress was so shiny and her shoes were like made out of crystal. They were plastic, of course, but they looked like they were made out of crystal. I remember that it came out and I just wanted that Barbie. And I begged to my dad and I begged and I begged and I begged. And so Christmas was the longest time I waited for something. And I finally got the Barbie. And I was just so happy. And I still to this day have her shoes, her dress, everything. And I have her in my walk-in closet displayed because I just love her so much. But, and we get gifts like that. Can you think of what was your favorite gift?
Yeah, so when I don't even know how old I was. I think I was maybe like 12 or something, 12, 13. I wanted a trampoline and I have a huge family. So to get asked for like a trampoline was just very expensive ask, and I actually got it and I was so excited and I took care of that thing. My mom would always tell me, that if I want it to last long, like I have to take care of it. So I would put it up every spring, take it down every winter, and that thing lasted me until I bought my first house. when I was like 25, and I took that trampoline to my first house, and it was really cool because then I got to kind of pass it on to my stepkids, and they got use out of it for, it was like a year or two that they got use out of it, and then my husband jumped through it. And he ripped a hole and like broke it, but we knew it was on its last leg. It's lasted many years, but that was my favorite gift that I absolutely loved and always look back and cherish.
And so, just as we got things that perhaps we really wanted, we also got things that, or we didn't get things that we really wanted. Like, I remember my brother, there was like, he was big on Masters of the Universe, so you can tell my age. And so he really wanted a specific toy and he didn't get it, but he got something else. And I remember his face. He was so disappointed, but my parents couldn't find the freaking toy because everybody was buying the same toy, you know? And so I
Yeah.
remember his face of disappointment until this day. I wish I could go back in time and give him the specific toy he wanted. And, but these are just material things. There's gifts that we should give throughout the year with intention that we might not be giving or might not be getting. And I'm sure that everybody who's listening always wanted to have something as a child that didn't get it. For example, for me, it was a little bit more of acknowledgement of things I was doing, but I got more of the things I wasn't doing. And that within the years, it created, among other things, it created me to be very insecure and wanted to be seen. And how about you, Megan?
Yeah, I would say like quality time with loved ones is something that I think I would want out of anything. A tradition that my family has been doing just the last few years is I've been hosting Christmas Day at my house with my husband's side of the family. And it is like the cutest thing. It's like, it's not about the presents or, money or anything like that. But what my kids look forward to is one of my husband's like great aunts will play the piano, like Christmas songs. And they can request whatever they want and she'll play it for them. And they do their little talent show and they sing and they dance and they put on costumes. And every year they're, looking forward to it. And what's so funny is I'm like, the adults look forward to it, the grandparents, the aunts, the uncles, parents. That's the part that we all look forward to. And my mother-in-law already, gave me a warning like, hey, make sure the kids are ready to sing their songs. I'm like, oh, you don't have to tell them twice. They're very excited. And that's, you know, you could look back and think like, oh, that's not cool to be, singing in front of, the aunts and uncles or whatever. But it's like, no, like these are the memories that we're making and it's the quality time. That's all, that's what our kids want. That's what I want. I love, actually, I'm going to go on a tangent, but my son every day is like, is it Christmas? Is it Christmas? And yesterday I was like, it's not Christmas yet. He's like, well, why do we have the tree up? And I said, you know what? Because I love coming down and just looking at the beauty of the lights and the Christmas tree and all these little ornaments that you guys have made over the years. And I could just sit there in peace and joy just with that Christmas tree. It just brings so much joy, just being in presence, being in the moment. And it was really cute. So last night, we brought like a book down to read and we did it in front of the Christmas tree and they wanted all the lights down and just to have that ambiance. And it's like, but that's what kids want and even adults want, that quality time and just being present and in the moment.
Yeah, those gifts go a long way and last through a lifetime. Because, toys, unless you keep them so very well, they're going to last, but most of them are not going to last. And so we gotta think. I think a good idea is to learn what our loved ones' love language is. And so give accordingly, because even if we have two kids, well, those two kids are not going to be the same. They can be
Right.
complete opposites. And if we have more than two, it's even going to be harder. And so, as in my case, Megan's, we have four kids each one. And so, it's very, very different for each kid. And so, if we feel like one of our kids is words of affirmation, then tell them constantly how well they're doing something. And if they're helping out throughout the house decorating or something, then be grateful and tell them. If they have, they love affection, then give them that hug them, kiss them. And there's not a lot of love languages. There's five. And so learning them and giving to our kids accordingly, I think that goes a long way. Like Megan was saying, cook with them or bake with them and, hands on. And those are going to be very memorable. And like Megan was saying, they used to have a talent show and sing in front of their uncles and aunts. And she was smiling and beaming while she's saying that. And so I think that's a gift that lasts till the moment we say goodbye of this world. Like it's just gonna last. And so I think it's important to give everybody who's around us something that's gonna be meaningful to them.
Yeah. You know what else is good gifts are like experience gifts or like for like maybe your teenage kids instead of, getting them, these name brand whatever. Give them like a ticket to go to like a sports game together. I know my husband did that. He gave my son tickets to go to a hockey game, just him and my son. And it was like that quality time. Like that's
Mhm.
really what you're giving it. And it was funny. My husband is not, I don't want to say he's not a fan of hockey. He's just never really gotten into it or watched it. But that was like the only sports like game that they could both go together that fit both of their schedules. They would have preferred to go to, maybe to basketball or a football game, but it didn't work out with their schedules. So they end up going to this hockey game and both of them were like beaming ear to ear, so excited, and again, it was just about the quality time. Maybe neither of them knew anything about hockey, but it was just a good time and that bonding time, be able to give your, kid that quality time that they deserve. I'm all about like more experience kind of gifts. And there's all kinds. I mean, you could go give them, gift certificates to do like pottery together or, a coupon to take them out to breakfast. I mean, and honestly, it doesn't matter. I remember one year and I feel so bad because I need to do it again. Um, I have a lot of god kids. And the one year I took three of my godsons to an indoor water park and it's funny looking back at the pictures. I'm like, I can't believe it was that long ago, but I think it was like 10 years ago. They still talk about it and like, oh my gosh, we got to do that again. That was so amazing. And it's like, something like that lasts a lifetime. Do they remember the t-shirt I bought them the other year? You know what I mean? Like, no, probably
Or the
not.
underwear that grandma gave.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yes,
all those things are good and well, but I think what we're talking about today is just putting more intention and into your gifts and making it more personal.
yeah, and so just so I don't forget, allow me to wear my glasses because I'm blind as bad. But the five love languages are words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. And so, you know, in my case, I like words of affirmation and physical touch. And so if I don't have that, I feel like a little plant without water, you know? And it sounds dramatic, but it is like that. And so I'm glad when someone gives me a hug or just tell me how delicious the pie I made was or something like that. It's important. And so if someone else, like my husband's love language is giving gifts. To me, receiving gifts, it's not the same as getting physical touch, like a hug, right? Or a word of affirmation. Like gifts are okay, but they're not going to fill my bucket as words of affirmations. In a way, it's pretty cheap to make me happy, I guess. And so, that's why it's important to learn, especially our little ones. And so, would you like to share some of your children's love languages, Megan?
Well, actually, you know what's interesting? So, my thoughts are going two different places. One, can I ask a question first before I jump into that? I am not a touchy person. So, coming from someone that's not, my love language is definitely not touch. Would something like a massage be a good gift for somebody that likes touch, or you want more of a touch from somebody that you love?
Well, I guess there's a lot of people that have that kind of love language that will appreciate massages. I just feel weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't do my nails like I do my nails, and like I cut my own hair and like all that. And so it's I feel kind of weird. And so but I do love a hug. But most people, yes, they appreciate the massage. Like I know my husband's always offering it to me, but I'm like, no. So I don't know. Far weird. I'm
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
So it is interesting you talking about this because I guess I mean I am more focused right now on this touch thing. So I'm like I would say that is not my strong love language. However, there are times that like I really wished to receive a hug, and I know my husband wouldn't even think of coming near me with like a 10-foot pole because I
I
am not giving off the vibe that I want one.
know.
So, it's like lately I've been communicating that to him though. I've been saying, like, I've been giving him like the okay, like, I really could use a hug right now. And he looks at me like,
What's
now?
going
You want a
on?
hug right now? And it is exactly what I need. And I like melt into his arms, and it is so perfect. And so I guess I want to share that for anybody that maybe doesn't think that touch is, your love language, but you still there's those times that you really need it. Like you really could use that hug. Don't be afraid to say it because your partner or any loved ones are probably thinking just like my husband, like, she cranky. I don't want to go near her. Sometimes when we're the crankiest is when we need like that softness. So just putting it out there, don't be too proud to use your voice and say, I want a hug, because that has just done wonders for my relationship with my husband. But again, so then I was thinking on a different note of like the touching and so I have a son that is similar to me that like doesn't like affection, but it's really funny because he actually probably needs it the most. And it's something again I just been noticing lately. And so with him, I used to not want, just like my husband doesn't want to come near me if I'm cranky. Like gotta watch it carefully because I'll probably get, kicked or something if he's in a bad mood and I'm thinking I'm gonna calm him down by giving him a hug. He's the type that it does not feel safe. Like he wants to just like kick you. So I let him like breathe for a little bit, and I almost like take my time coming up to him. He's not the type that you could just rush in and hug. He has to feel very safe in his surroundings. So if he just had like a meltdown about something, I can't like rush in and just like hug him and be like it's all okay. Like he needs me to almost just sit a little distance away from him and then like slowly scoot in, and then eventually he's like fully embracing me. But he has to feel that safe like first before he allows me in. And that took some time for me to acknowledge and realize what he needed. So it, yeah, I have a lot of variety of kids, and being aware and taking that time to step back to see what their needs are helps me a lot, which, um, yeah, I could go on. I have a lot of kids, but my daughter, I would say she is more quality time. And it's really hard with how many kids I have to give her that quality time. But I realize like there's that soft or that sweet spot because she's, older than the other kids where I could put them to bed and then spend some time just laying in her bed and letting her chit chat. And it was so cute because for the first time she said, hey mom, can you come in my room and can we just have girl talk? And I was like,
Oh,
yes, yes, I would love that.
that's
You have
awesome.
to make it safe for them and kind of figure out what they need.
Yes, sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes the love language that you need the most ends up being the one sometimes. I'm not saying for everybody, but sometimes it's the one that you lack more of
Yes.
getting. And it's also because sometimes, like in my case, right, I want affection, and only one of my four children is affectionate. And then the others are like, no. And my husband is like, no. And so, but sometimes it's also given to us so that we give love to ourselves,
Yes.
or if someone needs, likes gifts, and well, gift yourself something, We count as one of the people that are out there needing their love language to be fulfilled. Well, we can give that to ourselves too. If you like quality time, go to a library if you like reading, or, go to Barnes and Nobles. And this is, just an example of things you could do. Give yourself quality time because we count also. But I also know that when the love language that it's the hardest to give is it was just not learned at home, I guess. Like for my husband,
Mhm.
he didn't grow up in a very affectionate family, and so he didn't learn it. And for me, I grew up in Guatemala, and so there you give gifts and you wrap them nicely and whatnot, but we don't write cards for it. And if we do, we just like happy birthday and the signature, and that's it. And a
Yeah.
little card like this. And so we're not big on cards. But when I came here, everybody was like cards for Christmas, for New Year's, and birthdays. And for me, it's just so very hard to write a card because I'm thinking, well, I'm telling them all the time that I love them, that I'm proud of them, but a card is gonna stay there for years. They can have you like your own handwriting as a memory, in perhaps in a box, or maybe displayed, or maybe lost in a cardboard box. I don't know, but it's gonna last until they throw it away, I guess. But I guess we need to practice to do more of what we are, even if we're not used to it or we didn't receive it. But I think that what makes the gift even more precious is because we are not used to it. We didn't learn it, but we're willing to give it a try for the sake of the ones we love. And so, yeah, that's what make gifting with intention so very special.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that because my husband is like, I think when it comes to like talking emotions and everything, he is like a man of few words. Like, I mean, he's very social, butterfly to everybody, but when it comes to like sharing his feelings, like it's very minimal. But how you talked about writing cards, I do look forward to his cards like every year for like our anniversary or my birthday, Mother's Day, because it really comes from his heart and he actually like pours out all his emotions or it's sometimes it's really silly or goofy or some things that he says, but it's just like his real like personality, the man I fell in love with, coming out onto this card. So yeah, any men out there that might be
Yeah.
listening, these little things mean a lot. But women too, like, sometimes there's a lot of women too that, are afraid to share their emotions. And a card is a good way. You can drop it off and run away.
Yeah, and if you don't want to buy a card, then at least send a text message,
Yeah.
an email full of love and words that are gonna just warm your loved one's heart. But yeah, like Megan said, men out there, you can do better.
Yeah. Well, we are curious on what kind of gifts you are giving your loved ones and family members, and are they intentional or are you rushing around this holiday season and just kind of checking things off your list? Because if you hear this message, maybe it's a little nudge to slow down and put more intention into your gifts and maybe tap into what other love language is, and you could be more intentional.
And you know what a great gift it is, like something to have, like a deck of cards at the table, and every night just read one. Like there's plenty of card decks now that have like questions for the family, and some are funny and some are just good information to have about your loved ones. But they're great to have at the table. Well, we eat in the kitchen, right, in the islands, and so I put the card of deck there. And I'm not gonna say that we read it every night, but we tend to use them a lot, and it's fun. It's fun, and the children they share. It's a good way to get your children to share too. Board games, for crying out loud, board games, because they give quality time right now
Yes.
when it's all about, social media and stuff. And so board games is a good gift that everybody enjoys. So we hope that you have beautiful holiday season, that you get really meaningful gifts and that you give them even more meaningful. And so with that, have a Merry Christmas or whatever other celebration you celebrate. May you have a beautiful season.
Happy holidays.
Thank you so much for being part of today's Quantum Quest. We hope this conversation awakens something new within you, a spark, a question, a remembering. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, keep exploring with an open mind and an open heart. Bye for now.